If our lamas give us something to do, do it. Do it all the way. Get out of the habituation of arguing. Ask questions, talk, explain, but do it. And don't do it 6:30. Don't do it partly. Don't do it only when you're watched. Do it all the way. Keep your commitments. Make yourself a person of integrity. That's a spiritual practice, a person of integrity. Push yourself. Push yourself, and if you have to push yourself, that's the reason you should push yourself, because you have to push yourself. When you reach spontaneity, when you can do it spontaneously, then you don't have to push yourself. And the whole point of being pushed is that, isn't it? So if you still find it difficult to do correct, positive action, then you have to push yourself. If you don't push yourself, no one else can. A person can only scold you so much, reward you so much, and compliment you so much. One day, it will end. And you're back to yourself. And all the actions you've done, and all the times that you should have done, you didn't do, will all come back to yourself. All. And that's a lot of fear. Every single action we did plants an imprint that will come back to us. It will come back. Everything. Nothing escapes. So everything that we did positive meaning without self-cherishing mind motivation, or the 8 worldly dharmas. Everything negative we've done, based on self-cherishing and worldly dharmas, will all come back to us. And even if we've had an easy life and we've had great parents or great people or sponsors taking care of us, and it gave us an opportunity to laze around and do nothing and not push ourselves, we will owe those people that we took from. Do not go on a very short-term, small, one-life basis that, hey, it's my parents, they're supposed to do that for me. No. When they die, they won't be your parents. When you die, you won't be their child. There's only karma left between you and them. Never say, oh, it's my parents, they're supposed to, therefore I can loaf around and live off of them and take advantage. Oh, it's my husband, oh, it's my wife, I can live off of them. No. Truth be told. And the reality is, when you separate from each other, they're not your parents anymore. Where's your parents from your previous life? But what you've done with the parent of the previous life, the karma comes back to you now. And that's the truth. So if you think that it's their responsibility to take care of you, and you have that attitude, in a worldly sense, on a very low worldly sense, yes, it's their responsibility to take care of you. That's a very worldly, normal view with not much wisdom, basic. Even animals go about that. Animals expect their mothers to take care of them. That's why they scream and they yell until they get milk, or they make noise. And even when the mother is trying to sleep, the little baby pups or dogs or whatever mammals are always disturbing their mothers, pushing and playing around. They don't think, because they feel their mother should take care of them. Well, we can think higher than that, higher than basic mammals, can't we? When we pass, or when they pass, the relationship is finished. But everything we've done to take advantage or to use or not use or whatever or not do, the karma will remain and it will ripen. So if you don't believe in guru devotion, that's all right. You should believe in parent devotion. It will all come back. And parents who allow their children to take advantage of them, you are allowing your children to collect a massive amount of negative karma. You think negative karma is only when you disagree it and they do it? No. Negative karma can be that you know what they're doing, even if you agree or don't agree, and you allow it to happen. You allow them to collect negative karma. Why? You are their parent. You are their parent. It's like a teacher allowing the student to break their samaya. Saying what? You allow it. Sometimes the child doesn't know, sometimes the child knows, but it's the same thing. Killing knowingly, killing unknowingly, there is karma. There's a difference in the karma, but there is karma. There is. Killing knowing and unknowingly. Because why? It is inherently negative action. Inherently. Negative action. So therefore, if you let your kids grow up lying, and you think it's cute, and you think it's competitive, and they grow up to be liars, and it takes care of you, and you don't really care, or you have other kids to focus on, or whatever. When those kids lie, it may be cute now. when they grow up, they will create a lot of unhappiness in their lives with themselves from lying. Or if you allow your kids to loaf around and not succeed, and every time they fail, you step in and help them. Every time they fail, you step in and help them. Yes, you love them, you care for them, but is that love? Is that care? Or is that a method for them to be destroyed? And you think, hey, I'll leave them everything I have, they should be okay for the rest of their life. But the way you raise them, if they can't take care of themselves while you're alive, why do you think they can take care of what you give them when they're dead? When you're dead. Very dangerous. And these people born into these situations where they're not pushed, where they're not egged on to do more, is actually the result of negative karma. It is a result of negative karma. Why? Because negativities arise from that action. Action and result must resemble. Very simple. Now, when we have the Dharma and we listen to this, we say, yeah, that's true. How kind that is to have the Dharma, how kind it was for the Buddha to let us know all these things. It's knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is control. Knowledge tells you what you can do with your destiny. Knowledge. It's the highest knowledge, better than any knowledge you can get. The highest. If after knowing this and you continue to do what you're doing, the karma is even heavier. Much heavier. You go to Singapore, you get caught for chewing bubblegum and spitting on the street, and you tell them, I never knew, I'm so sorry. They're going to be a little lenient. They have to check your passport, you've never been there before, and you don't read, so you can't read their rules. You know, you never went to school. I mean, they'll be a little more lenient. They can think what. But if they check your passport, you've been there in and out every week, and you can read perfectly, and you're a lecturer in English, and you say, well, I didn't know I can't spit my gum out. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. And it'll be more harsh. So if it's like that in normal situations, if you know and you've heard this, and some of you might think, God, I wish I didn't hear Dharma. How silly. How silly. You wish you didn't hear Dharma so that you can continue collecting negative karma? Now that you've heard it, it's a more heavier negative karma. Instead of saying, darn, I wish I didn't hear it, you should think, oh, now I'm going to definitely avoid it. What idiot? Capital I-D-I-O-T. Capital. All capitals. I-D-I-O-T would continue making negative karma with people that have been kind with them, example, their parents. What idiot? What idiot would continue to use, parasite, and take from people who've been kind to them continuously? What idiot would do that? Why would you want the karma? What karma? Think, if the karma, the action resembles the result, and the result resembles the action, if we parasite off of people, what do you think the result will be? I'll let you figure it out. A sucker fish hanging off a tanker, running around the ocean in your next life? I don't know. A vampire bat? I really don't know. But there is definitely a karma. And it will come back. If you don't believe in karma, you wouldn't be here. If you didn't believe in the power of karma, you wouldn't pray or do your sadhana or make offerings or do retreats. You wouldn't. So there is some belief there. So it's laziness holding you back. The laziness is fueled by habituation. Fueled by habituation. And the only way to do that is to cut the fuel. Very simple. It's your choice. Do you want to be successful in something in your life that has great significance? Or do you want to let all the years pass by as it has been passing by? And you think, what's the big deal? It is a big deal. Because it just doesn't pass by and you're in yellow poppy fields and looking at strawberry fields forever. There are results and consequences. Hearing things like this is a result of our good karma. And if we do something about it, we can continue that good karma. Hearing things like this and not doing anything about it, it is obvious what type of person you are. Very obvious. Very, very obvious. How can we listen to the Dharma and not be moved and touched and motivated to do something? How can we not? Why? Why? Because it's all logical through and through. There's no mystery. There's no magic. There's no words appearing in the sky that, maybe. It's all very logical. When you think about it, oh yeah, that makes sense. I haven't heard that before. Yeah, all right, I've heard that. Oh yeah, it connects like that. So if it's logical and makes sense, you don't do anything, then anything that befalls you, don't cry out for help. And if you cry out for help, help will not be on its way due to your own karmic imprints. Help will not be on its way. It's not that people don't want to help. You can't be helped. And isn't there people out there, you look at them, you feel sad that we can't help them, we have to just let them be and sometimes just let go of them because they can't be helped. There are people, we look at them year after year not taking responsibility, not doing things, not pushing themselves, and they get worse and worse and worse. And after a while, they turn everybody away, they turn themselves away, and they think they're young and they can do this. But look, how long does your youth last? Youth, whatever we are, was created last year. We were youthful. That was created a year before. That was youthful. And then so on and so on. And so how youthful do you think you are? Ridiculous. Those who insist on not taking responsibility and not standing up and not pushing themselves and improving, those who insist on that, should expect detrimental results. Should expect. And when those detrimental results happen, they should also assume that they will be unable to receive help of any kind. They should assume that. Why? The cause resembles the result. You're getting help right now, so if you don't want to do anything about it, then why can you do anything about it later when the situation is much worse? Why? So it's very logical. In Dharma, we take responsibility. We don't lay it on some outer force or outer being. We take responsibility. And if we're brave enough to say, never mind, let the results come, then don't ever wince or feel pain or compassion for those who starve, who those who are on the streets, who those who have bad situations, health problems, for those who die young, who those who get maimed and hurt. Don't feel any compassion for them. If you really felt compassion for them, you would do something about yourself. So if you hear about pain from other people and you cry, it's an act. If you see other people suffering, you should be hard as a rock. Why? If you can do something and you don't, where does it start? From yourself. Directly, how can we affect them? Directly, we can't help them. But indirectly, we can help them, which leads to direct help. Why? If we improve ourselves and make ourselves better, we can do higher practice that gain higher attainments. And those higher attainments will have the ability, the mind ability, and the strength, and the skillfulness, and the omniscience, and also the vastness to perceive other people suffering and how to skillfully help them. And that's how we can help them if we start with ourselves. So if we don't start with ourselves, don't talk about you have compassion, you worry about this, or you're crying. Don't even cry for yourself. Why should you cry for yourself? You obviously don't have even compassion for yourself. Very important to know this. Very important. If we follow that, we don't even need to talk about center or this or responsibility or taking. We don't need to talk about it. It's all just a natural state, a natural progression. We don't need to talk about it. You have heard the doctrine on karma. You have some conviction. You have some conviction. And you have seen some examples of it in your life and in other people's lives. And you've heard eminent, exalted people talk about it and expound and explain it. There's nothing left but to do it. You've heard eminent people. So you think about that.